I've been with my boyfriend for 11 years, since I was 15. His mother has hated me since the first day she met me. She hated me due to my ethnicity, Kosovan Albanian, she hated me due to my career, I work as a model, and she decided that makes me an empty-headed, vain shallow person. Then when I told her I still planned to go to university alongside my career, she said I was doing it to impress my boyfriend. I've since left uni with a distinction, and her new reason to hate me is I try too hard. She has also insisted I've cheated on him throughout our entire relationship, which is a ridiculous claim. I've never even kissed another man in my whole life. I have zero desire to cheat and never will. Late last year she attempted to void the insurance on my boyfriend's motorbikes. She tried to do this under my name so, hypothetically, when he was arrested for riding with no insurance and called his insurance company, I'd get the blame. After this happened, my boyfriend and I agreed to cut her out, however it hasn't stuck. She left my boyfriend alone and respected his wishes for no contact, but she's continued to contact and harass me. This leads to the last few weeks. My boyfriend works as a motorcycle test rider and he got in an awful motorbike crash while working, as such I now need to care for him. I'm okay with that, and I'm focusing on seeing it as an opportunity for us to get closer. It's been nice, honestly. However, his mother has been awful to me. She's called me litany of terms. From things as tame as stupid to things as awful as a nasty Serbian half-breed. I'm not Serbian, and she's well aware that calling a Kosovan a Serb is offensive. I tried to block her, so she started making new iMessage accounts and began to continuously harass me via those accounts. Then came Friday night. The police turned up at our door. I was pretty confused and was quickly told they were there to do a welfare check as they'd received multiple claims of horrific abuse I was apparently putting my poor boyfriend under. Obviously they quickly discovered he was fine, albeit grumpy, and they left. I know for a fact it was his mother. Some of the details the police mentioned made that obvious. I'm now at a point where I've realized I literally cannot do this. I'm going to press charges against her for the insurance and harassment. It's a crime in the UK, and I'm likely going to sue her for damages. For the sake of my mental health, I need to do this. I don't want to be a victim, and she needs to be forced to stop. I have mentioned my intentions to her if she doesn't back off, and she's pretty much mocking me and saying I won't. I absolutely will. I just feel like this morally may make me an awful person. She screws, I know this, however she's old and miserable enough as is, and I feel like doing this marrow in whatever small amount of life she has left. It feels like it may be too far. I really don't know, though, and I genuinely cannot be objective here. Would I be the idiot here if I did this? Not the idiot, but it's not quite clear what charges you want to press. It'd be hard to prove she maliciously reported abuse. People have a wide latitude for reporting concerns, fraud for changing the insurance. Perhaps. More importantly, what is your boyfriend doing about this? It's his mother. He really should be the one fighting on your behalf. I would be pissed at my SO if they didn't defend me in this situation. Honestly, if things are as bad as you say, I would go no contact and ask that my partner do the same. As a Croatian woman myself, you bet you that nasty Serbian half-breed comment would have been enough for me to sue her back into oblivion and back. I don't have anything against Serbians personally, but there is no denying the history our countries share, recent history, really, and that her comment had ugly intent. Hella restraining order, sue her for more. Narcissistic idiots like her deserve a taste of their own medicine and consequences for their crappy actions, especially after 11 years. I think this is a good example of the law being genuinely useful. Do some research and find a lawyer with expertise in this area. Satisfy yourself that the lawyer you choose is not approaching this as a money-making exercise. Set your story out to him or her and tell them your general aims. If they say you have a strong case, you will know you are not the idiot because they and the law recognize that your mother-in-law is wrong. It may well not get to court. A cease and desist letter from a lawyer will scare some people. I work at a store that used to be entirely a women's clothing store. Bras, underwear, and women's clothing. About 3 years ago the company started including men and children's clothes. Now the store is about 50% women's, 25% men's, and 25% children's. When we come in we are assigned to a department. It is either women's, men's, children's, cashier, fitting room, or processing. Because of the smaller side of the men's and children's departments, the people in those departments normally finish way before the person in the women's department finishes. If there is a girl working in the children's department and a guy working in the men's department, then they tell the girl that she has to help out whoever is in the women's department. If they are both girls, then they both have to help. If they are both guys, then neither helps. Girls will be put in men's, but guys never get put in women's. It is an unwritten rule that guys can't work in the women's department. They can't even help out. Last week I was swapped in the women's department and asked my manager if I could get some help. He said the two other people on the floor were both guys, so they couldn't help me. I asked if they could just do the women's clothing while I do the bras and underwear, in case dealing with undergarments and intimate wears makes the guys uncomfortable. My manager said no, because they don't even know where anything goes and it would be easier if I did it. Both guys were done with their smaller departments and were playing around with a toy football. Yesterday we had a sale on men's jeans, so the men's department was crazy for once. I was doing women's and finished earlier than usual. My manager told me to go help the guy in men's. I told him that I wasn't going to because no one helped me last week when I was swapped in the women's department. Why should I have to fold men's underwear if the guys don't have to help hang up women's jackets? My manager said that we'll discuss this another time, but I told him that I don't want to discuss it another time. He ended up saying that if I help out in men's, then he'll revisit the rule about guys not helping out in women's. This morning we had a meeting about a potential rule change, and pretty much everyone there knew it was because I complained. One of the other girls thanked me privately, and one of the guys agreed that fair is fair, but the other two guys kept calling me a baby and saying that I cried over nothing and ruined everything. I only had a short shift today, and when I left, one of the guys asked if I was leaving early to go drink my bottle because I'm such a baby. I didn't mean to make things harder on them. I just wanted it to be more fair, but am I the idiot for causing more drama? Not the idiot, those guys didn't want fair, they wanted to do the least amount of work possible, and it was a good deal for them, so they didn't want it to change. What a weird rule too. I work a fitting room at Walmart that has a decently sized clothing section for men, women, and kids, and we had guys putting away things in the women's section all the time, even the intimate items sometimes. It's not big deal unless you make it one. What are the 12 years old, and girly clothes are icky. Not the idiot, they are just being idiots because they are mad that you're refusing to help them because they don't have to help you messed up their good thing. They got to clean up their section and go home while you and other women were stuck working later because you had a bigger section. Now they don't have that option and they have to stay later. They are the ones being babies about it. If they say something again about your bottle, tell them you'll bring it to them since they keep crying about having to do a little bit more work. Not the idiot. Fair is fair. If women are allowed to work in the men's section, then men should have to work the women's. Honestly, the policy just seems really unfair and super stereotypical. We're all adults here. When I worked in a retail store, I mainly did the pet section, but the few times I get my stuff done early, I had to go work OTC, pharmacy area, which was usually worked by a woman because it was lighter stuff. They had tampons and other feminine products. I had zero issue putting that stuff on the shelf. I'm a bit at war with myself because I've been called petty before and I hold grudges. So I know these things are part of my personality, but I don't know if I'm overreacting and taking it too far. So I, 31, was looking for bathing suits online with my friend, 30. We're getting into beach season where we are, and COVID restrictions have been lifted in our area. I have 2 young kids, and as you can imagine, stretch marks on my stomach, thighs, and breasts. I mean, nothing too crazy or severe, but I think, looking at me, you can tell I've been pregnant. I have a mixture of one-piece bathing suits and 2-piece sets. That day, I happened to be looking at 2 pieces. My friend, who has a history of being oh so helpful and honest, asked me why I was looking for 2-piece suits. I showed her the picture of the current suit I had loaded up on a website, a cute bikini set with high-rise bottoms. I said I thought I'd look decent in it. Friend says, but you have stretch marks all over and you have the mom pouch. You should probably look for a one-piece to cover yourself up. My defenses went up, but I calmly replied, okay, well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say most people have some form of stretch mark somewhere on their body, be it from pregnancy, sudden weight gain or loss, etc. But you won't look attractive at the beach when we go. I guess I'm not looking to be attractive. I'm married, I'm not there to pick up guys, I just want to tan my back and tummy at the beach. Just because lots of people have stretch marks doesn't make them pretty to look at, though. Isn't that what you said? That even if something is common or popular, it doesn't mean it's good. I knew exactly what she was quoting me on. Wanna know? Ages ago, a group of us were discussing history etc. and at one point in the conversation I said, he won the popular vote. Just because he rose to power doesn't mean he was right. Y'all, she made a comparison between him and stretch marks being unsightly. After a long pause, I said, I guess we won't be going to the beach together then, I wouldn't want to subject you to my disgusting body. She rolled her eyes at me and said, don't take it to the extreme. I was just trying to be helpful. People will stare. The rest of our visit was quiet and awkward, and I'm still miffed. She's trying to pretend nothing happened, but I've been distant. She texted me seriously. You're blowing this out of proportion. I'm not apologizing for something I said with good intentions. And, yeah, I guess that's it. I'm pissed off and not really being as friendly as normal. Am I being too petty? Am I blowing it out of proportion? Am I the idiot? I'm assuming your friend wants to pick up guys at the beach and thinks your stretch marks will somehow detract from that or possibly give away her age. Hell, that noise. You rock your two-piece and your stretch marks. I wish more people would. You know what you look like in a two-piece on the beach, stretch marks and all. Confident. Not the idiot. Tell your friend to pound sand while she's at the beach. Maybe then she'll learn that good intentions for herself is not the same as good intentions for you. Not the idiot. I could never be friends with this person after this. You're not blowing anything out of proportion. Is she outright trying to hurt your feelings? That's what it seems like. Bodies are bodies and I cannot believe she had the audacity to be so blatantly rude. And then to throw in your face another argument for so long ago. Wow. She seems terrible. Take your trip with people who don't judge you and wear whatever damn bathing suit you please. Not the idiot, shame on her for being so horrible. I'm only 21 with no kids and I have tons of stretch marks, everyone has them. Our bodies are literally built to stretch out during pregnancy and obviously we're going to get stretch marks. Your body is amazing, it carried 2 kids in it. And I mean this in the best way, nobody cares about your stretch marks. No one will look twice because they're that normal. Don't let her shame you into not wearing that two-piece. This happened about 9 months ago last summer, but we are fighting about it now. A little background for context. My boyfriend, 24, Adam, fake name, and I have been together for just over 3 years. I am 23, if that matters. We have a fairly stable relationship, but he has this habit of agreeing to things for us or on my behalf without telling me. It drives me crazy. He knows he does this. Onto the actual incident. We were going to a BBQ party hosted by some of his uni friends. In my mind this was a get-together in the afternoon. After 8 morning shifts I was tired and looking forward to relaxing. I got home and got ready. Adam then admitted that he told the host about my baking hobby and that I had agreed to bake fancy desserts for the BBQ. The time was now almost 3, he deliberately waited till the last possible moment in time to tell me, so I would argue less and just make something quickly that would chill in their fridge while we were having food. I was livid, I admit. We argued. I accused him of knowing he was doing wrong and still doing it. He denied it. Screw that. I was so angry that I called a taxi, with him asking what I was doing. I told him I was just buying something cheap and that I was done with this whole last minute, use my easy embarrassment against me to do what you want thing. He tried reasoning in the taxi, but I shut him down. We ended up arriving about 20 minutes past 4. The hosts greeted us and she looked surprised at the store-bought food. She asked if everything was okay and I replied with brutal honesty what happened. That he agreed to me baking without consulting me, and she then informed me he told her I agreed to bake things almost 2 weeks ago. I lost my temper again and had a shouting match with him. We fought upstairs away from the main party, but it was obvious everyone knew we were fighting. We left after I apologized to the host, but everyone looked embarrassed. We fought again at home, him saying I humiliated him and ruined the party, that I should have stayed home if I was that upset, or just fought later in private, and that the host didn't need to know our business and now I looked petty. Found out later, the party was awkward for a while until alcohol overtook the atmosphere. I don't want to keep fighting about this, but I also don't want to cave and apologize when I don't think I need to. I did deliberately pull no punches with the host and told her what he did when she asked about the store desserts. I am just so sick of him pulling this crap all the damn time. I am starting to think he is right. Am I the idiot? If I was the idiot, I will apologize to him and settle this. Not the idiot. Yeah, I guess in an ideal world, you wouldn't have argued at the party and made people feel uncomfortable, but sometimes you need to have a big blow up, especially if the other person is relying on social pressure to make you play nice. He assumed you'd cave, rather than make a scene. He found out he was wrong. The important thing is, does your boyfriend still volunteer your time or effort, or has this cured him of that particular bit of idiocy? So I've always been kind of a neat freak mom the entire time my kids have been alive. I always expect their rooms to be clean, and I check their drawers or closets or storage bins to make sure they don't just shove stuff in there to make the room appear clean. The kids, 16, 13, 9, and 6, are all responsible for putting away their laundry, and my oldest two are responsible for folding their own clothes. Which bothers me because my 13-year-old folds his clothes in a way that bothers me. He rolls them up instead of properly folding them. Ever since the kids have been home and have more free time, I am more strict about the way they put away their clothes. I expect their clothes to be folded a certain way and organized in a certain way in their drawers. I read from a mommy blogger a few years ago that when her kids' drawers weren't organized, she would make a mess for them to organize the right way. I considered it for a few years, but now that the kids are old enough, I think it's the way to go for us. I haven't had to do this until yesterday. I walked into my 16-year-old's room while she was FaceTiming her boyfriend and saw her basket of laundry that needed to be folded, and out of curiosity, opened her drawers and saw she had shoved her clothes in there. I started making a mess and she screamed, "Mom, why?" And I told her she knew why. After that I walked out of her room. She explained to her boyfriend what I did, and he says, "Your mom's freaking crazy, brah," and I peek my head into her room, give her a look, and she ends the call with him and breaks down crying. I told my husband what happened. He told me, "I knew said you were gonna do that, but I didn't know you would actually follow through." This morning I woke up to a note on my daughter's door saying, "Until mom can get mental help, I'm staying with aunt," my sister's name. I texted her, no response. I tried contacting my sister, who said she has no plans to return until I get mental help and stop being such a controlling idiot. My husband, sister, and mom are all against me in this, which hurts. I don't think it harmed my daughter, it benefits her and helps her stay organized. How does it benefit her? If the clothes are in the drawers, why do you care how they're folded? If you want to be obsessive-compulsive disorder with your own stuff, that's fine, but forcing your ridiculous standards on your children is wrong. And the fact that your husband, sister, and mom think you're wrong should be a whack you'd call. If your daughter wants you to get mental help, I have a feeling this story is just the tip of the iceberg. Get help before you alienate all your children. You're the idiot. You're the idiot. Obviously. You know, my mom used to do this crap. She wanted my underwear folded a specific way, and when I didn't do it right, she'd dump my whole drawer, so I'd have to do it again. I'd come home from high school, and my undies would be all over the bed. I always wondered why she thought it was normal to go into her teenage daughter's underwear drawer. And why she felt the need to take time from her day to check it. You're the idiot. I have 4 kids also and would never dream of being so terrible to them. You didn't even know the clothes weren't folded. This literally doesn't affect you at all. Is this really how you want your children to remember their childhood? Is this behavior you really want them modeling? Do you really want to teach them that treating people as you do is acceptable? I hope your family supports you kids and push you to get the help you need, because treating vulnerable people like that isn't okay.